Hello and welcome back to My Life Matters Grief and PTSD Forum. Remember, no matter what's approaching you, what you're looking at, what you're looking forward to, or what's coming against you, whatever you're experiencing, your life matters both to God and to us. In this particular portion of the forum, we're going to talk about our children. Children sometimes can grieve differently, and sometimes we don't even recognize that they're grieving. We'll talk about how you can recognize the signs of grief in your children and how you can assist them. I hope you'll find it helpful. Maybe you'll share it with a friend. God bless. Let's get into the forum. Okay, got to do this because this is why we're here. One of the reasons we're here. There are two questions. What does grief look like in children? And then the next one, how in the world do I get through these holidays? Okay, so let's start with the children. And then anybody trying to figure out how to get through the holiday? How do I get through it? Because children, I think, look a little different. Okay, yeah. And I'm asking this question because a lot of times children we don't talk to them, and we don't realize they're grieving. Okay.
So from my experience, children experience grief in a lot of different ways. Some of it is normalized. And what we've got to keep in mind, too, is their developmental age, right? Because sometimes we say, well, this child is doing X, Y, and Z. Yeah, but they're 3. That's kind of like their developmental age. That's what they're supposed to be doing. But specifically for a child, for example, that maybe didn't wet the bed, and now they're wetting the bed, that's a indicator of grief for children. Children that are now having disciplinary problems that they didn't have disciplinary problems before, that's another indicator that children may be experiencing grief or detachment from whatever it is that they lost. And then also too, when children begin to isolate themselves, when normally they're more involved with other children or more they play with their siblings or friends, and now they rather just go to their room or they just rather be isolated. That's another thing to look out for as it relates to children. But we should always, as I like to call us the village, even though I don't have children, I'm still a village. And anything we see different with a child, even if they haven't experienced any type of grief or trauma, anything that's different from a child, I make sure that the parent is alert and aware, because something may be going on that maybe the parent doesn't know, and maybe just a conversation that they need to have with the children. So some of those things that, to recap for that, children that may be reverting back to younger years, like maybe wetting the bed or baby talk or want to eat with their hands versus the silverware, children that isolate themselves, and also children that may be experiencing behavioral issues, maybe that they didn't have behavioral issues before.
Thank you. What about these holidays?
I was going to say something else.
1 second, we'll come to you. Okay.
Just to add to the conversation about children that are grieving, children need support too through the process of grief. As a school counselor, I do find children that have lost a parent due to illness or even due to incarceration, they experience it as a loss, and they grieve that the absence of that parent being present, and they actually do want to talk about it, and so opening up those conversations and allowing them to be free to say what they have to say, to remember and to recall the person that they lost in their lives, giving them that space to do that is important. A lot of times children want to do that through some form of play or keeping something in their hands, but keeping their hands busy, sometimes manipulating something kind of eases them and allows them to be able to talk more freely. And so just know that just like adults need support, children need support too. They cry about it. I have children to this day, they come in my office and they're just like, Ms. Croston, I'm just having a bad day. I miss this person. And I sit down and I'm present with them, and we kind of navigate and walk through that. And so whatever they need in that moment, I try to allow them to have that moment. And then when they're ready, they'll let you know, like, okay, I'm ready to go back to class, or I need this next thing. But children can tell you what it is they need, depending on where their developmental stage.
Thanks so much for joining us today. If you'd like to connect with us, you can do so at ChristyMinger.com, or you can catch us across social media at the addresses listed below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. God bless and have a wonderful day.